have no idea why I decided to review Taxi Driver. For Christ's sakes, I censored the Evil Dead review. How the fuck am I gonna do this? Okay, before I get into the review, I feel the need to address some topics that this film covers. Some topics that this film cover are mental health, terrorism, solicitation of minors, and sexual harassment. The film is intentionally disturbing and distressing, however, it's never distasteful. The subject matter and how it's portrayed is never meant to be exploitative. Instead of summing up Taxi Driver in my own words, I'm going to be reading the official description of the film, circa 2000. The all-too-real story of a psychotic New York cabbie who is driven to violence in an attempt to rescue a teenage prostitute. Wow. That wasn't even fucking close. Taxi Driver is about Travis Bickle, a cab driver who is mentally unstable. After Travis is rejected by a woman who works at a campaign office, he plots to assassinate presidential candidate Joe Palantine. After one failed attempt to assassinate the candidate, he turns his attention to saving a teenage prostitute. The film is narrated by Travis through his journal entries. Through his journal entries, we learn things about Travis that Travis doesn't realize about himself. That he's a narcissistic, nihilistic, misogynistic, racist, homophobic asshole. Throughout the film, Travis uses slurs, is constantly racist, is degrading to women, and overall has no self-awareness. That being said, the film is still considered one of the best films ever made. And that's a statement I agree with. Why? Because that is 100% intentional. Travis isn't a hero. He's not even an anti-hero. Travis is a tool. I feel like I've said this before. Taxi Driver isn't a film that's designed for you to like the protagonist. Taxi Driver is meant for you to look through the eyes of a deranged man who thinks he's a hero. That brings me to the next thing I'm going to be talking about. Taxi Driver is a surreal film, meaning that our view of the world is filtered through Travis's own mind. We get a distorted view of reality, not because it's different, but because we see the world through someone else's perspective. The best way to describe this concept is by examining the opening of this film and the opening of another film that happens to be Beetlejuice. The opening of Taxi Driver is a montage of New York. However, there's a catch. We see this montage through Travis's rainy windshield, thus distorting our view of the world. The distorted view we get of the city is Travis's view of the city. The opening of Beetlejuice is a tracking shot of the town the film takes place in. This shot is undistorted, however, it reveals that the town is not real. It's a model. Not only are we getting an undistorted view of the world that the film takes place in, but it's also not real. Surrealism is psychological, but pseudo-realism is more sociological. Because of how this film is made, it's incredibly hard to tell what's actually going on. For example, when Travis asks out Betsy, the woman who will eventually reject him, it's not exactly clear what's going on. Travis is acting incredibly sketchy. He's been stalking Betsy for a while now, and that's a fact that Betsy's well aware of. When Travis approaches her, Betsy is smiling. However, it's unclear if Betsy's smiling because she's attracted to Travis, if she's trying to mock Travis by going out with him, if she's scared of Travis and faking the smile, or if this is just how Travis perceives the event. Not everything that's shown in Taxi Driver actually happens in the story. As I keep on saying, the entire movie takes place in Travis's head. If you're paying attention to Taxi Driver, the film will tell you exactly what to expect.
He's a prophet and a pusher. Partly truth, partly fiction. Walking contradiction.
Not only was this line a comment on Travis, it perfectly describes the film. Speaking of contradictions, Travis's journal is a more accurate representation of reality than what we're shown. In his journal, Travis says that when he calls Betsy after their first date, Betsy was apprehensive about going out with him again. However, after he calls her office multiple times, Betsy finally agrees. About 30 minutes into the film, a teenage girl that's clearly in distress runs into Travis's car. Before she can say anything to Travis, a middle-aged man drags her out of the car and bribes Travis to forget the event. Travis is obviously disturbed about what happened and tries not to think about it. This is shown by a lack of journal entry about the event. On Travis's second date with Betsy, he takes her to a porno theater. This is one of the most loaded scenes in the entire film. It's packed with meaning and subtext. The most obvious meaning for this scene is to show how socially awkward Travis is, and I don't really think I need to explain why. Another thing this scene does is show what Betsy meant by calling Travis a walking contradiction. Travis, as I've said earlier, is a misogynist. He thinks that women need to be respectable and independent to be valued, and that sexually active women are degenerates. At the beginning of the film, Travis calls the women of New York whores and scum, but Travis continually visits this theater. After Betsy dumps Travis, a deranged man gets into Travis's cab. At first, Travis is scared for obvious reasons. However, the tension on Travis's face is slightly relieved when the man tells Travis about how his wife is cheating on him. Travis's behavior seems to change again after the man tells Travis that he's going to kill both his wife and the man that she's cheating on him with. Travis seems to enter a contemplative state, getting the idea to assassinate Palantine at this time. Travis sees the man as a reflection of himself. He sees Betsy as the man's wife, and he thinks that Betsy is cheating on him with her job. But hey, that's just my interpretation of the scene. 20 minutes after Travis first meets the teenage girl from earlier, he bumps into her again. No pun intended. Another 20 minutes pass, and Travis is finally able to talk to the girl. In this scene, it's revealed that, well, you can probably infer what she is, whose name is Iris. After one failed attempt to murder Joe Palantine, Travis's attention shifts to saving Iris and making sure that nothing that happened to Iris happens to anyone else. The final 10 minutes of Taxi Driver is just Travis killing absolutely everyone in charge of the prostitute ring. The ending of this film is highly debated. Not for the morality of Travis's climactic shootout, but for whether or not he survives it. Travis, after killing everyone in his path and being shot several times, tries to attempt suicide, but fails. Travis is then found by a cop, but passes out from his wounds. From what we're shown, it certainly looks like Travis died. However, before the film ends, we get one more scene. A scene where Travis is being commended for his actions. If Travis did die in this shootout, then the final scene would have only happened in his head. One last hallucination before he succumbs to his wounds. If Travis survives, however, he's seen as a hero by the city of New York and by Betsy. Taxi Driver is a brilliant film. However, it's only a film that really needs to be seen once. In rewatching Taxi Driver, I had to buy a copy of this. Honestly, I'm okay with that. What are you doing here? Whoa, what the hell are you doing? Ending this. Ending what? You already ended it last time. If you shoot me, all you do is you shoot yourself. No, I won't. How fucking stupid are you? You're the future version of me. No, I'm not. What? I'm not you. What? If you're not me, then who the hell are you? I'll show you. Oh my god. What? Why are you dressed like the future version of me? You idiot! There hasn't been a future version of you. It's been me. The entire time. But why? You got me shot. What? You got me shot! But according to your logic, you shot yourself. I got shot because you watched Jurassic Park! Okay. That doesn't explain everything, though. If you're not from the future, why are there two versions of yourself? What about Time Cop? I am from the future. And Time Cop's not real. I brought him to life using camera trickery. What? That doesn't make any sense. I saw him in person. And whatever. Time Cop, police dude, freeze! Ah! Oh, guess it was real. Well, time to die. Bro, what the hell are you doing? I just turned off that light.